The moment the situation erupted online, the entire Love and Marriage Huntsville community felt the shift instantly. Longtime fans who have followed Melody Shari, Martell, and the rest of the cast for years, people who know every arc, every feud, every subtle tension, could tell immediately that something massive had just taken place. It didn't happen slowly, it didn't build up over hours or days, it hit like a shockwave. What started as one of Arionne Curry's typical live streams, the kind she has done countless times before, suddenly transformed into one of the biggest controversies the LAMH universe has ever seen. And from the moment the first leaked clip hit social media, the atmosphere changed. People could feel the tension, the disbelief, the absolute shock radiating from every corner of the fandom. This wasn't just a messy moment or a heated exchange, this was a turning point, one that many viewers now believe may reshape the storylines, relationships, and dynamics of the entire franchise. And that's exactly why you need to stay with me until the very end of this video, because every detail of what happened connects to something deeper. Every moment in that live stream is tied to years of emotional exhaustion, years of public scrutiny, years of frustration, jealousy, and unresolved pain. And unless you understand the emotional timeline leading up to that live stream, you'll never fully understand why she broke down the way she did. Everything began when Arionne Curry decided to go live to address comments about her long and complicated history with Martell. It was a setting viewers had seen countless times. Her tone was familiar, irritated yet controlled, defensive yet steady. The chat, as usual, was chaotic. People poking, prodding, provoking her with questions about Martell, about Melody, about the past she can never seem to escape. But something felt different this time. As more comments mentioning Melody began filling the screen, viewers noticed a subtle but undeniable shift in Arionne's demeanor. Her voice tightened, her eyes hardened, her patience thinned thread by thread. And then, in a moment that lasted only a few seconds but felt like the world stretching in slow motion, Arionne referenced Melody's children, sharply, directly, without hesitation. The live stream froze. Not literally, but emotionally. The audience held their breath. The chat exploded into chaos, and instantly, absolutely instantly, people started screen recording. They knew she had crossed the one boundary LAMH fans have always protected fiercely: the children. What made everything even more shocking was that Arionne didn't walk it back. She didn't correct herself. She didn't apologize or clarify. Instead, she doubled down, fully standing on what she said. And that decision, that refusal to backtrack, is what ignited a wildfire that spread far beyond the show's usual viewers. Within minutes, the clip migrated from her live to Instagram pages, YouTube channels, TikTok reactions, fan groups, and Reddit threads. And for one of the rare times in LAMH history, nearly every corner of the fandom was unified. It didn't matter who liked Melody or who didn't. It didn't matter who sympathized with Arionne or who criticized her. It didn't matter if you watched the show religiously or casually. Everyone agreed on one thing: dragging children into adult conflict is unacceptable. The situation grew so widespread that it pulled in people outside the LAMH fanbase, folks who didn't know the cast, weren't familiar with the storyline, and didn't care about the show, because the rule about protecting children in public drama is universal. Even people who normally criticized Melody were defending her on this one. Even those who believed Arionne had been mistreated in the past couldn't stand behind this. This moment hit differently because Melody's children have always been intentionally shielded. Melody has spent years, through public betrayal, heartbreak, divorce, and rebuilding, making sure her kids stayed protected. So hearing their names being pulled into a heated moment felt like a direct violation of something sacred. It wasn't just an attack on Melody, it was an attack on her role as a mother. Throughout the show's history, disagreements happen all the time. Friendships crumble, alliances shift, and arguments jump from petty to explosive in seconds. But one thing has remained consistently respected across every season, every cast member, every feud: Melody and Martell's children are off limits. Even when Martell himself slipped up in the past and mentioned the children indirectly, fans called him out. So when someone who isn't even part of the official cast did so, in anger, intentionally, it struck the fandom like lightning. But in order to understand the full magnitude of this blow-up, we have to dig deeper, because Arionne's outburst didn't come from nowhere. It came from years of emotional exhaustion, years of public scrutiny, years of frustration, jealousy, and unresolved pain. And unless you understand the emotional timeline leading up to that live stream, you'll never fully understand why she broke down the way she did.
Everything changed for Arionne the moment her involvement with Martell became public. No matter what she posted, no matter how she tried to rebrand her life, no matter what she said or didn't say, the public defined her by a single title: the other woman. That label followed her everywhere. It haunted every live stream, every Instagram post, every attempt at normalcy. Anytime she smiled, people reminded her of her past. Anytime she tried to show confidence, people mocked her. Anytime she tried to move forward, the internet dragged her back into the storyline she desperately wanted to escape. Her emotional relationship with Martell only made everything more complicated. Their connection wasn't casual. It wasn't a fling. It was long-lasting, layered, filled with promises, secrets, and emotional ties that the public never saw. And while Melody rebuilt publicly, glowing, growing, launching businesses, making music, expanding her brand, Arionne remained stuck in the shadows of a narrative she couldn't escape. Melody's success became a mirror reflecting everything Arionne lost, everything she wanted, and everything the world refused to let her forget. Whether she acknowledged it or not, the comparison became another layer of emotional exhaustion. And the internet? It amplified everything. Blogs uplifted Melody and mocked Arionne. Fan pages praised Melody and criticized Arionne. Even when Melody remained silent, her supporters spoke for her. That constant contrast, one woman rising, the other sinking, added pressure that built up over years. A lot of fans noticed that in the weeks leading up to the live stream, Arionne's online behavior seemed more agitated than usual. She reacted more strongly to comments. Her tone became more defensive. Screenshots of her replies circulated online, showing her frustration. Rumors surfaced suggesting renewed tension between her and Martell, arguments, financial disagreements, emotional distance. And historically, any time Martell pulled away, Arionne reacted emotionally. It had been a cycle for years: closeness, distance, resentment, and then an outburst. So when she went live that day, she wasn't just responding to viewers, she was responding to years of humiliation, years of being mocked, and years of believing she never got the empathy that Melody and others received. But instead of directing that emotional buildup toward Martell, who played a major role in her pain, she redirected it at the one place she should never have touched: Melody's children. And that misdirection changed everything. Once the clip began circulating, the backlash spread faster than anyone expected. Instagram lit up with reactions from major pages, bloggers, and influencers. YouTube commentators, some who hadn't talked about Arionne in months, returned to give their take. TikTok went wild with duets, stitches, reactions, and heated debates. Twitter threads broke the situation down piece by piece. Some people analyzed her tone, facial expressions, body language, and pauses. Others debated whether she was intentionally malicious or emotionally overwhelmed. A few sympathized with her pain, but said they simply could not stand behind what she chose to say. And even longtime supporters, people who had defended her through past controversies, publicly admitted they couldn't defend her this time. But the conversation didn't stop with Arionne. It shifted to Martell. As the outrage grew, more and more people started asking the same questions. Why wasn't Martell saying anything? Why wasn't he defending his kids? Why was he silent while chaos erupted around the people he claims to protect? His silence ignited its own kind of anger. Regardless of his past flaws, most viewers believed that when it came to his kids, he would always stand up. The fact that he didn't, at least not immediately, made people furious. Some argued that Martell allowed too much chaos to unfold around his family for too long. Others felt he had grown too comfortable letting drama play out while he remained in the background. And some speculated that he felt trapped, knowing any comment could make the situation worse. But whether he was quiet to protect the kids, to protect himself, or because he didn't know what to say, fans weren't buying it. They wanted him to step up. Then there was Melody. Most viewers instantly defended her, recalling every emotional breakdown she endured while trying to protect her children over the years. Even without Melody saying a single word, fans felt her pain. They knew she was likely aware of what happened, and her silence, calm, composed, deliberate, made the situation even more striking. It wasn't the silence of someone defeated, it was the silence of a woman who refused to give the situation more energy than it deserved. In many ways, her silence spoke louder than anything. It reminded fans of her strength, her boundaries, and the dignity she carries even in the face of ugly moments.
As the clip continued circulating, whispers emerged that production was paying attention. Some insiders claimed the cast was aware. A few suggested that Martell might be pressured to respond publicly or privately, and some even speculated that the incident could influence future filming, storylines, or cast interactions. Fans drew comparisons to previous seasons, where cast members protected children at all costs, no matter how intense the drama became. No one crossed that line. Arionne's comment didn't just break a rule, it shattered a community standard. Now that the dust is beginning to settle, the biggest questions remain unanswered. Will Arionne publicly apologize? Will Martell speak up and defend his children? How will Melody respond, if she responds at all? Will this situation affect co-parenting, filming, or cast relationships? And can the fandom ever view Arionne the same way again? Because one thing is clear, this wasn't just a live stream. This was the breaking point of years of emotional tension, jealousy, pressure, unresolved conflict, and deep personal pain. And the consequences of this moment are far from over. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Arionne crossed a line she can never come back from? Should Martell finally step up and address the situation? And how do you think Melody will move moving forward? Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because this story is evolving quickly, and I'll be following every update as it unfolds.